Last year, 2020, was definitely one for the history books, isn't it? Wasn't it? It's a once in a lifetime kind of experience that we all had collectively. But as I said a couple of weeks ago, you are stronger than you think. You are so much stronger than you know. And so you made it through 2020, man. You made it through 2020. Welcome to 2021. And it doesn't matter how 2020 worked out for you, how it ended up for you. Here you are on the first Wednesday of the new year, ready for a new beginning. So hey, welcome. This is the month of January. I don't know how many of you know this, but the month of January was named for a Roman god, the god Janus. Now Janus was a peculiar little fellow, to say the least, right? He had two faces. Now I didn't say he was two-faced. He had two faces. He had a head with two faces, one that looked backwards and one that looked forwards, because he was the god of gates and doors. And the notion was that doors and gates had the ability to look backwards and forwards, look in two directions. So Janus had this two faces as well. So as the guardian of doors and gates and entrances and exits, he represented beginnings, right? He was used to symbolize changes and transitions, progressions, moving from the past to the future, moving from one condition to the next. And here we are, with this amazing experience over the last 13 months or so. We have definitely crossed over into a new year, but we're still, I would argue, in the middle of this pandemic brought on by COVID-19. But the optimist in me says that, we are beginning to turn the corner. We have an opportunity to have a new beginning, to transition, as Janus represents. Certainly, I guess we could argue that we're at the beginning of the beginning, and that's the optimist in me, because we have had a year now of experience with this pandemic, and I would hope that we have learned some things. I think definitely we know a whole lot more today than we did last year this time about this virus, right? And so our responsibility is to use that body of knowledge to move forward, right? We now have a vaccine out, and I'm not here to discuss the merits of this vaccine, whether it's good or bad, or rushed or not. But it's what we have. Having said that, I think we have an opportunity to start over, to begin anew. And what do I mean by that? I mean, can we really start over? Is it possible? Is it really? And my argument would be yes, it's possible to start over in a sense with this, as it relates to this this pandemic. It's definitely possible to start over in terms of your career, or maybe your weight loss goals, or your health goals, right? Or your relationship, whatever it is, whatever area of your life. Maybe things weren't working as well as you'd like them to have worked last year. And I get it that New Year's, January 1st is arbitrary in many ways, right? The clock changes over, the calendar changes over, but we tend and we traditionally use the first of the year as a new starting point, an opportunity to begin anew. And so let's use it. Let's use this year as well in a serious way to start over. So let me share with you 4 ideas. The first thing I think we need in order to start over, in order to begin anew, is that we have to accept and embrace our reality, right? We need to accept and embrace our reality. And What do I mean by that? I mean, hey, you have to just accept what is. You've heard the term. It is what it is. Where you are is where you are. Whether through your own actions or through no fault of your own, hey, this is where you are. This is a situation you have to deal with. This is where you are, and there ain't nothing you can do about changing how you got here. Well, we often say, hey, if I knew then what I know now, right? So whether we're talking about last year or 10 years ago, whatever, right? I'm of the view that we all do our best with what we have, the knowledge, experiences, etc. I think most people do the best with what they have, and sometimes, yeah, we make mistakes because we are human beings and we find ourselves in circumstances that would rather not be in. But there's no point in, they say, I'm forgive me for all the cliches, crying over spilt milk. There's no point in crying over spilt milk. This is where you are. And so the only way to move forward is to simply accept, embrace. I didn't say resign. No, I did not say resign. I didn't say throw your hands in the air and go, oh my God, this is where I am and this is where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. This is my destiny. No, it's simply just accepting that this is your new starting point, Jacinth, and now you can move on from there. There is formula, equation I want to share with you, right? And it's scrolling on the screen here. And it says that circumstances, your circumstance plus your perception equals your outcome. Now, we often have no choice over the circumstances that we find ourselves in, but we have total control over how we view those circumstances, those events in our lives, right? You have every bit of control over how you think, over the image you visualize, and hence the actions you take, and so the outcomes that you create. And so wherever it is that you find yourself is where you find yourself. Now it's your turn to go, okay, if I leave things up to fate, I'll continue along this path and I'm going to end up with these particular results. So now I'm going to decide how I want to view this situation. I'm going to choose the images I want to visualize, and hence the actions that I take and I'm going to take to ensure that I end up in a different place. So, all right. So I think I've killed that one. Embrace and accept reality as it is, right? Number 2, make a personal commitment to change. Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And the thing that really needs to change more than anything else in the equation, in any circumstances, the person you see in the mirror, right? So once you've decided that, you know what, I am going to make a change, I'm going to commit to making a change. And when I say you're committing, I mean you're putting your heart and soul into the process of figuring out what you need to do in order to effect that change, in order to get to where you want to go. I think too many of us kind of go through life passively, man. It's like, oh, I don't like where I am, and whatever happens, whatever will be. Well, I get it that there are certain things we have no control over, but you have tons of control over the things you can do. So stop sitting back, being passive, going where the wind blows. You're not designed to live your life that way, right? That's one of the reasons why God gave you a brain, right? So make that commitment. There's a big difference between being interested in achieving your goals and or simply being involved in achieving your goals and committing to achieving your goals. There's this quote I saw many years ago that says, in a breakfast of eggs and ham, the chicken is involved, the pig is committed, right? So, hopefully that really gives you a good image of what it means to be committed, right? You have to be all in terms of achieving your goals. Now, number 3 then would be use your imagination. Be like Barney. For those of you who have young kids, back in the day, Barney was all about imagination. The fact of the matter is that we use our imagination every single day. And what I'm trying to get you to do is to be more aware of how you're using your imagination. Every single thing in our lives is created twice, right? First mentally, and then it shows up in our world. And so I want to challenge you to become more deliberate in how you think about your circumstances and how you think about the path you want to go along life and where you want your life to end up, right? I'm talking about creating a vision, man. This compelling, dynamic, vibrant image of what you want your life to look like. This, I describe it as our preferred future state, this clear alternate view of the world, and how different it will look tomorrow based on the changes that you have committed to make, right? So use your imagination, my friends. Be like Barney. And then be appreciative, be thankful, express gratitude for where you are, right? We have become so conditioned to only think about the loss or the lack, right? We've not learned to appreciate the moment. We've not learned to appreciate the goodness that we have, right? I get it. You had big plans for 2020 and this COVID thing came and kind of disrupted it. But here you are nonetheless. Here you are. Nonetheless, alive and well. And again, my condolences to everyone who lost loved ones, friends, family to this COVID and for other reasons as well. That's not something to celebrate, obviously, but you can still be appreciative of the time you got to spend with these people. You can be grateful for the amazing memories that all of you have created together. But at the same time, here you are, alive and well and kicking, with the ability to create a new destination, right? Forget what happened in the past. Embrace where you are, because right now you have the ability, you have the strength, you have the wherewithal to move forward and have a new ending. They say that nobody can, all of us have the ability to start over, begin anew, and create a different ending, I should say. So that's my challenge, that's my encouragement to all of you this morning. This is an opportunity to begin anew and create a completely different ending from the ones your circumstances suggest you are destined for. All right?